everybody, and welcome to CFR Flashback. I'm David Poulsen, working digitally alongside my buddy Dustin Edwards. And what we're going to do over the course of the next 6 days, because we know everybody wishes we were all in Red Deer right now at the Canadian Finals Rodeo, but of course we can't do that this year. So what we're going to do is celebrate CFR Week by flashing back to 1 year ago to all the great excitement. CFR 46, it was an outstanding week. And Dustin, I'm excited about one of the things we're going to do. We're going to, during the course of our broadcast, interview one of the champions each night, coinciding with a corresponding night of 1 year ago. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm excited about this. I don't know about you.
Well, I definitely am missing being in Red Deer and missing everything that is Canadian Finals Rodeo, from pulling into the parking lot to walking into the Centrium and just feeling the excitement. So however we can stay connected with the Canadian Finals, it's amazing to think a year has passed and none of the champions that we're going to talk to throughout the course of this week have been introduced anywhere in Canada as the current Canadian champion because there was no rodeos. So maybe this is the first time we get to give them their first honorary "You're Canadian champion." And I'm just super excited because 2019, and we've been involved in quite a few CFRs together, it was by far one of my most favorites. It was extremely dramatic and a lot of fun.
It really was. Let's talk a little bit about last year before we get to tonight's special guest. Was there any particular moments that really stood out in your mind from 2019, that opening night performance?
Oh, there was, and not even opening night performance, but the first event of the night. I think back to Tuesday night in the bareback riding, and Spur Lacoste, of course, a second-generation bareback superstar. He gets drawn up against Mucho Dinero from the Volds. And, here's a rookie cowboy at his first Canadian Finals with just kind of one of the juggernaut horses of the bareback pen, and jumps out and he wins the round. He kind of crossed into that superstar position where you knew that Spur Lacoste was meant to be at the Canadian Finals. And what a cool way to kick off the rodeo was watching him win that round. I thought that was pretty special.
There was a lot of really interesting things happen 1 year ago on this night. For me, watching the team roping and Dawson and Dylan Graham jumping out with a 3-9 on opening night, that was absolutely spectacular. But you know what else was interesting, Dustin, was some of the people who stumbled a little bit on opening night. And I'm thinking of Scott Gunther, who was the defending champion going into last year's Canadian Final. And in the steer wrestling, he jumps out and breaks the barrier and yet was able to overcome that and win a second title. And then we talk about Brooke Wills in the barrel racing. This young cowgirl, at her very first performance of her very first Canadian Finals rodeo, hits not one, but two barrels. And somehow she was able to overcome that. We're going to talk to both of those champions a little bit later on in the week, but we've got a very special guy to talk to tonight. And that, of course, is one of my favorite people on the planet, the bull riding champion of 2019. You said it. We get to introduce that champion here tonight. And Edgar Durazo, let's bring him in right now, shall we? Well, we talked about the bull riding champion of 2019, Edgar Durazo, and it's so good to have Edgar aboard. I'll tell you something, friends. If you're in a bad mood, here's what you need to do. You need to pick up the phone and phone Edgar, because you will not be in a bad mood for very long. I'm not sure this guy has ever been in a bad mood, and he sure wasn't 1 year ago, because this thing was all about Edgar Durazo. And your CFR week started actually before the Canadian Finals rodeo at our Night of Champions. It seemed like every time I turned around, Dennis Halstead and I were bringing you back up on stage for another honor. You were Rookie of the Year. You were season leader in the bull riding. And that really set the tone for going into the Canadian Finals rodeo. Edgar, tell us a little bit about, you and I chatted earlier in the season about how you made a determination early on that the CFR was really a big goal for you.
Well, it's something that I really been dreaming of. Being the Canadian Finals and rodeo is something that since I was a kid, is something that I really wanted to do. And then for one thing or another, it just didn't work for me in the past, and I have to go other directions just because, that's what it was at the time. And then now that we got all together, and me and my wife, that she's been helping me out a lot with everything, and so we said, okay, let's plan this. And 2019, we're just going all in for it, but just having fun, no pressure, just having fun. So yeah, I just went out and just start riding and doing what I love, and well, thank God everything just come together.
Edgar, I was curious that in the season last year in 2019, if there was some point in the season or a specific rodeo that really you just knew that this was going to lock it up and really help you in that quest to get to the CFR and win a Canadian title.
I think Panoka, it was something that really pushed me up there, because I didn't do a lot of rodeos. I didn't went to a lot of rodeos, but I just went to the biggest rodeos that I could. Obviously, beginning of the season, I have to do some small rodeos, which is I really have fun on it. But we were traveling, we were going to Mexico and stuff that we have to do at home, and so I didn't have a lot of time. I had time in between that I have to. I couldn't enter some of the rodeos that I wanted to, but so just I'm just chilling, relax, and then just put everything on God's hand. And when Panoka time came, it was just amazing. It was just it just sealed the deal there for me.
You know, Edgar, you mentioned Mexico, and I want to go back. We'll come back to last year in just a moment, but I want to go back even further. I want to go back to Mexico. When was it that Edgar Durazo said, I want to be a rodeo cowboy. I want to go up into the United States and into Canada and prove what I can do up there. How did that all come about?
Well, I was just probably 5 year olds, or like probably a 5 year old. I barely remember when every year we was the World Series of the baseball at home. We really love baseball. We all play it, and the NFR. You know, that was the two things that we all watched together as a family. And well, since I remember, that was my dream. You know, like I wanted to ride bulls, and I wanted to be there on the top level and just ride professionally, and that's what I wanted to do. And ever since, I've been carrying that on my mind. It's just there's no day that I wake up and it just comes to my mind. You know, like I love riding bulls, and I just turn up the coffee and read my Bible and kiss my wife and just start with the day. You know, I just wanted to, like, there's something that is in my blood. And I watched pictures of my dad when he rode bulls for a little bit, because they just started over there when he was going, but down in Mexico. But I watched that and really encouraged me to do better, and that I'm always told him. And he always told me that, like, if you wanted to do something in life, you give him 100%. And this is what you want, go get him 100%. And he was always there to back me up, to support me. And well, now he's gone, and my wife is here, and she's the one that they give me that support every day.
Well, it sounds like with that much positivity and energy, it sounds like any event you take on, you would excel at it. That's for sure. You know that you and Dave have a lot in common. You said you loved baseball and watched the World Series. Unfortunately, Dave is a huge Yankees fan. I don't know who you cheer for, but do you have a favorite baseball team, Edgar?
Oh, I do, yeah. Diamondbacks, Arizona.
I can see that. I can understand that. That's great.
Yeah.
Let's go back to night number one, if you can, Edgar, if you can recall that, because, you know, last year was a very special bull riding, because Dustin and I have talked about this. I think it was the first time that we've ever had two bull riders ride all six, and you and Jordan Hansen just battled it out all week long. But you got off to such a great start, winning that opening round. Can you take us back to night number one of the Canadian finals and what you remember about that moment?
Sure. Well, I was pretty excited about it. I got there, and I saw the draw, and I don't really go far. When I have the draw, I don't really look at the draw. You know, like I'm just I've always just confidence, and I knew that I draw any bull. It doesn't matter the bull, like how bad or nasty or good or rank or whatever. I'm just everything that I have is just something that I really take as that's what I need for today, like to win it and to do the best. So like I got there and we hang out a little bit on the dressing rooms there, and so like I got in the shit there, and I didn't really think about it like that I have to do some to win, like some to something special, you know, like it's just pull my rope and take my wrap and slide and ride without thinking and just having fun 100%. I was just all in, just having fun, just ride bulls. And it was a pretty good bull. Like that's one of Nansen's, and he was really good. I knew, and I saw him along the season, and he was always had the same trip. So I was pretty excited that he was really good for me, worked out really good, and he just well, I won the round, and I was amazing. First round, the opening round, and the first time in the CFR, it was just I was very, very happy, and it was some like that really good memories from there.
Well, and you obviously proved it wasn't beginner's luck at winning a go round, because I mean, obviously the excitement of winning round number one, 24 hours later, I know you say you don't look at the draw, but round two, you got Night Moves, which was a former Bull of the Year. That must have had you excited after a round win. Then you get a former Bull of the Year heading into your second round of the Canadian Finals. And it looks quite similar to night number one. You jump out there and you do it again. Talk about that bull, because I that ride sticks out in my mind for sure.
Oh, exactly. That bull legs, I really wanted to get on. Like I never had the opportunity to ride him because I never been on the event or rodeo that it was there. But to draw him there, that was something that it was excited. Like I didn't. And the day before, or when I got the draw, I just my wife asked me, "What's the bull for tonight?" And I was like, I drew something that I really wanted to get on him. Like there's been a long time that I really want to get on that bull. And so he just went out and did the same thing. He stumbled kind of, but at the end he always does that. And he was pretty good. Like he feels really good. He feels really good. Just waiting for him. And it was the same thing. I got on the chute and I warm my rope and take the wrap, and he stick the horn out. So I have to kind of just get him out of the gate there because he was stuck in there. And then as soon as he looked, I went out and I nodded, and he just went cleared. And he was a fun ride. A kid I love that bull. Oh, I wanted to draw him again.
Well, you didn't draw him again, but you drew very well. But I'll tell you something, you know, as I look back at Edgar Durazo's scores over the course of the 6 rounds, in 5 of those rounds, you were 87 1/4, 87 3/4, 89 1/2, 88 1/4, and 87 in the final round. That kind of consistency, was there ever a moment, were there any of those bulls that you took a look at and said, well, this could be really a tough one? Or by then you were riding so well, did the confidence just carry you right through?
Oh yeah, no, I never think like that. Like it doesn't matter the situation, and especially that week, it never crossed my mind. You know, like it was just anything like, oh, I have that. Oh, great. No, this is my draw. Oh, amazing. And this is all for today. Perfect. This is all I need. So it was, I don't know, it was just great. And everything worked out. Like,
You know, the other thing I was going to ask you about, and Dustin and I were talking about, the fact you and Jordan Hansen and other guys, there were 3 or 4 other guys that were in the hunt, but you and Jordan just had this head-to-head battle. You have to kind of tip your hat to that guy as well, because he rode really, really well and kept the pressure on you right down to the last one. You really had to ride that last bull, and you did. And to win a Canadian title and to beat Jordan, it wasn't easy, but you guys put on a great show.
And having a guys like that, it just makes him better. You know, like that. Jordan was riding right after me, and then Sage, and you know those guys. They're all business. So those guys make business, and so is the rest of them. Because they were there for a reason. You have the top 12 to go to the Canadian final. So that was something that everybody will put a pressure on you. And then those two guys that went right behind me, like first, second, and third, and you just have to ride every bull to win it because there's no other way. But that's the excitement. Like that's what I like. I want it to be like that. I don't want it to be any other way. That's a really good flavor that I got from that buckle. You know, like winning that title, and that I really have to fight for it. Like I fought for that title. That's what I love about it. It was just amazing. No, like they're amazing and they're great guys, and I learned a lot from them in any directions, everywhere along the year and in the finals. It was just amazing. That hang out with all of them is really good. It was a really good experience.
Well, Edgar, you certainly nailed it when you talked about, you know, the top 12, and it truly was a great pen of bull riders. You know, you talk about world champion Sage Kimzey and Jordan Hansen, and I recall, and I vividly remember this. I think it was Jordan's last bull. You were the last out, and when Jordan made his ride, I watched you in the chute the whole time, and to me, it didn't even look like you lifted your head and even watched his ride to see what happens. Do you remember what was going on in the chute? And do you really take in the pressure from what other guys are doing when you're getting ready to ride in a moment like that?
Not really. I was on a strong arm of Nansen, and I know, yeah, that bull, it goes down on the front end all the time. So I wasn't looking at everything. I was just doing my thing. I was just making sure that I have my bull rope ready, because I knew that I need to knot with the bull laying down. And then I done it. Like that was my third time on that bull. So like that was I hear everything. I can hear it, but my mind wasn't there. You know, like my mind was here on the chute, on my bull, and on my bull rope, and I was just waiting for the moment and everything. It was great out there, and I watched the videos and everything after that, but right in the moment it was just nothing across my mind but ride my bull, jump for jump, just follow it. And then Donnie just come to my gate and it says, okay, Edgar, it's your turn, go ahead now. Just went down there, and the bull was just like down in the front end, like I said, and stick my hand in there, pull my rope, and just a slide like that. Nansen was ready, and when all that, he was just holding the bull there, just to making sure he was turning. He was nice and straight, so I nodded and just enjoying it, just follow him, jump by jump. Yeah, so it was pretty excited. Like I was. And he won the round and everything. I was excited about it. It was a great ride, and it was pretty good. It was a great night.
So now, you know, as you look back on it 1 year later, and you've had a chance to kind of think about it and soak it all in, how much has it meant to Edgar Durazo to be the Canadian champion in the bull riding?
Oh, it means a lot. It really means a lot, because that's a huge step on my career, and that's something that I've been looking for, something that I'm working for. I have big goals, and I'm just keep working and living it day by day, like not thinking with pressure, you know, like just living it. So like I have one done, and I will keep rodeoing in Canada, because that's so much fun. Like, it's great to rodeo up here. It's amazing. The rodeo family, all of you guys, and just being out and have to get on and all them great bulls, and it just I love rodeoing up here. Like for sure, I'm pumped to. I really look forward to next year.
You know, Edgar, Dave talked about leaving Red Deer with the Canadian title and the importance of that. But I mean, you won almost just shy of $60,000 in 1 week in Red Deer. You know, what does it mean for a cowboy at the end of your rodeo season to walk away with that kind of money in the bank when it's all said and done in such a short amount of time?
Well, it means a lot because like it's a long preparation for all this. Like it's just it's something that I expect to happen some point in my life because I've been working for it my whole life. So it's been paying off. Like it's great to have all that and to have working for a week, but it's really like the whole, like all the investment that I've been doing, like I had him back already, you know, like it's just something that for all these years that I've been riding professionally for 10 years that been going here and there and I've been doing pretty good and some up and downs and I'm feel good. Like it's just, like I said, I'm very happy with the way that I've been riding and taking the sport serious. But now, like after those finals and the full rodeo rodeoing in Canada, it was amazing. You know, that's Canada really, the rodeo in Canada, like is very traditional. It pays really good, and it's something is very emotional. Like I don't know. I really live in it. Like inside out. It just,
you know, we've talked a little bit about flashing back, and I know probably nobody missed the 2020 season any more than Edgar Durazo, because you'd love to be able to capitalize on winning that championship and continue on. But what's been going on in your life in 2020? Have you been getting on bulls and PBRs or anything, or mainly concentrating on work? What's going on with Edgar?
Yeah, I've been just concentrating on the colts. I've been just working horses, a lot of horses, and checking cattle and just keep living the life. Like it's the same for me if I'm here in the US or in Mexico. I'm always doing the same. I'm always on the back of the horse, and I'm working every day.
Well, I'll tell you, we do have some breaking news in the Edgar Durazo world. And I hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag here, but I understand, Dustin, you and I were chatting about this, but I believe the Durazos are expecting. Is this your first, Edgar, coming up fairly soon?
Yes, exactly.
And when's that going to happen?
Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna have a baby next year, and we're very excited for that. Like it's something that is a life changing, and it's something that we've been just living. Like I said, this year we've been learning a lot as a couple. Me and my wife, we've been married for almost 7 years now, but it's something that never stop learning.
And you got any more modeling gigs? I seen that you're doing some Western modeling. Is it for Ariette? Is that who you're modeling for these days?
Yes.
I can't see. I don't understand why they don't ask me for that gig.
Right? They should.
Thanks, Edgar. You're a pal. Hey, I'll tell you what. It's getting close to time when we've got to wrap this up. But I got to say, on behalf of Dustin Edwards, thank you, Edgar. It's always such a pleasure chatting with you. It was a delight to have you as our first guest on CFR Flashback. I'll tell you something. Dustin and I and thousands of rodeo fans can't wait to watch you ride bulls very, very soon in 2020. All of us to you, and certainly to your wife, and good luck with the new arrival coming soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and likewise.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to wrap up this first edition of CFR Flashback. And we hope you'll join us again tomorrow night as we correspond to night number 2 of the 2019 Canadian Finals Rodeo. I'm David Poulsen alongside Dustin Edwards and Edgar Durazo saying good night. So long, everybody.